read for us itong unang segment natin sa verse 25 hanggang verse 34. Ayan. All right. Again, welcome everyone.
Okay. Ready na ba kayo? Magbabasa po tayo sa verse 25 of Mark 5. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding. I'm reading from the NIV. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloth, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in a crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered. "And yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering."
Ayan, that will be our, salamat Sister Wilda, that will be our first segment dito. At makita natin na ang babaeng bleeding for 12 years. Ito ngayon ay she only if I can touch yung hem, yung laylayan ng kanyang damit ay I can get healed, ano. Ang sabi dito, now a certain woman had a flow of blood for 12 years, and had suffered many things from many physicians. She had spent all that she had and was no better, but rather grew worse. Well, of course dito, hindi pa po dumating yung meron silang other term dito yung synthetic na kind of approach in healing, in treating any sickness during that time. When she heard, sabi niya sa 27, about Jesus, she came behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. For she said, "If only I may touch his clothes, I shall be made well." Dito po ang something that we can learn from this account ay yung anticipation ng babaeng ito. She anticipated that something will happen to her only if she will touch yung garment, or yung some group they believe ito yung chisit o yung four corners na sinusot ng mga typical Jew. All right. Only I may touch his clothes, I shall be made well. I believe important po yung may anticipation tayo every time we approach ang ating Panginoon. Hindi yung it's just becoming a routine, lalo na yung pagpunta sa church. Or even yung pag-pray natin. Anticipation is good. That you anticipate that Yahweh, Yeshua will do something good. Yan ang anticipation na para mawala tayo dun sa typical no, ito, pumunta sa church, so we will sing, and then I will listen to the word, and then I go home. There is something good will happen here. I have to pay attention on what Yahweh has for me. Di ba? Mas magandang spirit yon in going any fellowship or in any avenue that we approach ang ating Panginoon. Yan. Makikita din natin dito, may something great result. Verse 29, ang sabi po niya, immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up. For one, itong babaeng ito, unclean po ito. Siya ay releasing blood. And so, she must separate herself, ano? And she felt in her body that she was healed of the affliction. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that power had gone out of him, turned around in the crowd and said, "Who touched my clothes?" But his disciples said to him, "You see the multitude thronging you, and you say, 'Who touched me?'" So, nakapayikot po siya ng mga tao, and then mamaya, siyempre, ang daming nakakahawak sa kanya, ang daming, yung skin to skin, yung clothes, di ba? Ang dami, nakapayikot eh. 32, and he looked around to see her who had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction." So yung faith ng babaeng ito was the avenue to tap yung kapangyarihan ng ating Panginoon. Yan. Hindi pa rin yung faith ang nag-heal, kundi yung kapangyarihan ng Panginoon to heal, yet yung avenue, yung channel para makatap siya ay yung sa pananampalataya ng babaeng ito. And like I said, yung eto, ang daming mga taong around sa ating Panginoong Yeshua, and yet this very woman actually was able to tap dun sa kapangyarihan ng ating Panginoon. Well, ano po ito? This is the kind of attitude na magandang magkaroon tayo when it comes to, say again, I will say it again, sa mga church gathering. Hindi yung it's just another routine. Kumbaga yung anticipation mo, something coming from you. You look forward to what will Jesus, Yeshua will do to you sa particular na gathering na ganon. All right. Anything from you guys, from Sister Wilda, Brother Dance?
Pastor, how can we going to relate yung na-feel ng ating Panginoong Yeshua na nag-release siya ng power on the person, which is the woman with bleeding na hinawakan siya, na-feel niya iyon? Is that have something to do with the way on how na lumapit yung woman sa kanya na with persistence? Kasi Pastor, 'di ba, yung setting is many people is coming to our Adonai Yeshua, wants to go kung nasaan siya. Pero yung pwede po ba nating sabihin, Pastor, na yung because of the persistency ng babae na ito, despite of her situation, it made an impact na naramdaman ng ating Panginoon na some power is being released sa kanya?
Well, according sa ating Panginoon, He said, your faith, your faith. Yung faith kasi, yung believing that sabi natin that God, that Yahweh or that Yeshua will be able to help me in this desperate situation. Yun yung faith diyan eh. Um, Yun ang nag-release. Yun ang naging avenue para ma-release yung kapangyarihan ng ating Panginoon na siya nga naka-receive ng healing dun sa ginawa niyang action na iyon. It is yung ano niya, yung pananampalataya niya.
Sabi niya, Pastor, who touched my clothing? Sabi niya. Why was it important to Jesus to know who touched him?
Well, it is not that important. He's kind of parang he knows what he has eh. And then all of a sudden parang sandali, parang nabawasan yung power ko eh. Parang kumbaga full tank siya. And then may na-release. Saan na no yun? Parang alam niya yung mga valve eh. Alam niya, get healed. Sabi niya, alam niya yung valve na yan na para all of a sudden nabawasan. So he's wondering, Papa, who touched me? Sino yung nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na ma-release yung power ko na hindi ako aware? Ayun, yun ang gusto niyang malaman. Sino sa inyo ang who was able to tap on my kumbaga yung power ko na hindi ko I was not aware of it. Ayun lang, gusto lang niyang malaman. Yun.
Okay.
Pastor, ano po kaya yung iniisip nitong woman after na hinawakan po niya yung hem ng yung laylayan ng damit na ating Panginoon? Because parang may na-feel po siyang Pastor dito eh, parang
Immediately,
may fear,
Yeah.
may trembling po na nangyari sa
Okay.
kanya after the healing. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, she was able to tell everything, the whole truth kung siya po yung humawak sa ating Panginoon. Bakit po kaya Pastor na yung unang naramdaman niya is fear and
Well,
trembling?
ang ano diyan yung fear na yan, it is a fear of recognition. Fear of recognition yan. Kung even sa gospel, there was this part na when they starting to sense who this person that they decided to follow, they're starting to learn that he is the Messiah, that he is capable to do just about everything. Then they started to fear him. Yan, they started to fear him. Ang fear na yan, example, no? Ikaw ay nagtatrabaho sa isang malaking company. And it so happened ikaw ay isa sa mga employees, mababang ano lang. Sabihin natin sa office ka, ganun, meron kang particular task. And then may nakasalo kang may nakasabay kang kumain, another employee seems to be like another employee like you. You talk to the person and everything. And then casually you converse, and then later on malaman mo siya pala yung CEO. At yung family niya, yun ang may-ari sa company. All right? Now you have a different fear. You have a different approach. Now it is a recognition who the person is. Yes, parang pag the next time you eat with that person, iba na yung iba na yung approach mo kasi now you recognize who this person is, di ba? Hindi na katulad nung the first time you ate with him or with her. Ganun ng tao once they recognize truly who ang ating Panginoon. You cannot help but we will have a great fear. Remember si John the Beloved. John the Beloved, nung nandito ang ating Panginoon during their time, ay ginagawa siyang unan. Ginagawa siyang una, no? Pag walang mahanap na una ng Panginoon, doon siya sasandal kay John. So that's how close ang si John and ang ating Panginoon. Pero this time sa Book of Revelation, now seeing him naman, that fullness of deity in him, the Godhood is right there in
Opo.
the very front of John. Wow, nagpatira pa si John.
Pastor,
That's another
Opo.
higher recognition who Yeshua truly before John. Yun, it is a fear of recognition. Hindi yung iba, sabi nga, may mga nagsusulat nga ng mga book, sabi nila, oh, I see Jesus every day. When I shave, andyan sa likod ko, nakikita ko siya. Jesus, good morning. Parang, ha? Ganun na lang ba yun? You see Jesus, magpapatira pa ka talaga because the recognition of kung sino siya. Yan din ang fear ng babaeng yan. Even us.
Yes.
Even us.
Pastor, how about those church goers na they have a certain need? That's why they go to church. And then, once po na fill in or natugunan yung pangangailangan nila is they go again on their own sa separate ways. Kumbaga, they use yung church para mag-grant po yung mga request nila sa buhay. Then after that, pag okay na sila, they will forget again to go to church.
Well, maraming ganyan eh. Maraming mga taong ganyan ang approach nila sa church, kaya they come and go. So that means they're looking for a solution, but they're not God seeker. Ang God seeker is no matter, lalo na pag paganda yung sitwasyon nila sa buhay, the more they are involved and active sa church because they seek God. And kung hindi tayo ganon,
Okay.
I will not even get affected sa mga taong ganyan because they are actually, kumbaga, committing some grave error sa kanilang kaisipan. Pero in the long run, makikita mo marami silang mga hollow part sa the way they see this life. Para bang tiles na pag gumawa ka ng tiles, nilagay mo yung tiles pero under sa tiles maraming mga surface na hindi siya flat, di ba? Meron siyang hollow part. Kaya pag i-knock mo yung tiles, maririnig mo, this is not right. Ganon din ang mga buhay nila. Thinking that they get away, thinking that they can use God sa mga many things sa kanilang buhay for the sake of their convenience, preference, will sa buhay na ito. Pero ang katotohanan, they're doing their selves sa kumbaga, merong dyan eh, you cannot return. Hindi ka pwedeng bumalik to fix it again.
Yes.
Kumbaga, that is now who you are because parang ginamit mo ang Diyos instead na nagpagamit tayo sa Diyos.
So yung mga ganong klaseng tao, Pastor, is they're not really seeking God sa loob ng iglesia because they are seeking treasure, gold, or anything that they wanted to sa loob ng church.
Absolutely. Absolutely. At times ay akala nila they found the solution and then they go out.
Yes.
Noon nga, I was also one of those who bets wedding. Why don't you keep on betting the number? Betting the number, yung hindi ka tatama eh. Pero eventually, lalabas yung number na yon.
Yes.
Okay? Pag lumabas yung number na yon, yes, lumabas na yung number ko, then, ganun din ang mga tao. Sometimes they come to church praying dun sa kanilang hinihinging request. But actually, yung nag-grant na request sa kanila, kahit hindi sila nagpunta ng church, darating yung araw na yun eh. But they fooled themselves thinking sa kakadalo nila sa church, kaya ginrant ng Panginoon
Yes,
yun.
opo.
Not really. You don't have to go to church. At the same time, guilty ka naman or guilty naman ang ganitong klaseng tao thinking na binless sila ng Panginoon. No, you don't need to go to church. Go to church pag ikaw ay ready to seek God. That's the the best reason and attitude in going to church.
Yes, opo. Sister Wilda, meron po.
Oo. Napansin ko, Pastor, dito, the woman, marami na siyang pinuntahang doktor. Parang,
Yes.
ang pagkaano ba dito, Pastor, ay, ang last result na niya ay ang Panginoon.
Yes.
Di ba, sa atin din, Pastor, most often, kung if we are in need or we are in the, most often, ginagawa natin ang paraan muna. Hindi dapat, di ba dapat na mauna, dapat ang Panginoon na pag-anuhan natin.
Yes.
Na
Tama. Dapat siya yung first resort.
mauna.
Is that what you're
Resort.
saying?
Hindi sa last. Opo.
Tama. Kaya lang yung babaeng yan, we do not know if she heard of Jesus before. Hindi natin alam yon. Hindi natin alam na Yeshua was there or meron siyang pagkakataon to approach Yeshua or punta muna siya sa doktor. Di ba? Yung, yan, mas righteous ang babaeng yan kumpara sa atin sa panahon natin ngayon. Alam natin, we can go to Yeshua anytime, any moment. Pero once we have a situation, we try to solve it muna sa ating kaparaanan. So parang kung yun ang pag-uusapan natin sa context natin, definitely doon na marami sa atin guilty on that sa ganun na pagkakataon. Pero yung woman na yan, hindi minention ng scripture na alam na niya, nandun na, available na to go to Yeshua. Remember, 12 years na siyang nagdurugo.
Opo.
When ang ating Panginoon, nag-ministry lang siya for 3.5 years. So, meron na siyang problema even bago na baptize ang ating Panginoong Yeshua.
Opo. Yan. Salamat po, Pastor Ram, sa mga kasagutan.